So, I watched a video that was about Unreal Engine 5 and how essentially the guy on the video was complaining that um, games that use Unreal Engine 5 are just not that good. They're badly optimized, badly used, just things that essentially made gamers feel like, well, why are we having all these studios switch over to this engine? Because, again, you know, people are starting to make a correlation. Well, they're using Unreal Engine 5, the game is poorly optimized, so what's going on? Is it Unreal Engine 5? So that's a fair criticism to have, but I think it's a bit unfair to the engine itself. I don't think the engine is inherently bad. I think the engine is perfectly fine. My thing is I think it's more of a developer issue more than anything. And true, it's kind of sad and kind of shitty to see, these big companies like CD Projekt Red move away from the Red engine to the Unreal 5 engine, which, again, that's... Despite how bad Cyberpunk was, it looked good. So I agree with the sentiment that, well, why would you want to switch over to this engine even though you have a perfectly suitable one back in the that you developed in-house? Well, again, issue is that most of these developers are fucking shedding developers like it's nothing. Like CD Projekt Red, we found out recently that, a lot of the developers left, then they switched over to this engine. And the reason is that, essentially, Unreal Engine 5 is probably just going to be the lingua franca, the universal language, the universal engine that seems like every developer is going to be using from now on. Which is just shit, because, well, isn't it kind of... I guess it's a bit of a change of the industry, because even like Metal Gear, with the up-and-coming Metal Gear update or remake, they're going to switch over from the Fox engine, which the Fox engine was an amazing engine. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, was an amazing game, and it was perfectly a suitable engine, well optimized. It was good. It was a perfect engine. I saw no issues with that engine. Problem is, all the developers are gone who knew how to use the engine. That's the issue. So, again, you're having more and more of these development studios just keep shedding developers like it's fucking nothing. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say, yeah, Unreal Engine 5 is ruining games, killing games, but I would like to preface that I don't think it's necessarily Unreal Engine 5 that's killing games. It's developers themselves killing their studios from just bad business decisions and just screwing over their developers, their veteran developers, and just fucking cleaning the slate and decide to say fuck it. We're just not going to have an in-house engine. So developers are far more easily replaceable. And again, I think Unreal Engine is perfectly fine. But again, you have this issue where you're just fucking cycling devs again and again and again, or just doing diversity hire devs that don't fucking know shit, don't know how to make a game, and yeah, no shit, it's going to be poorly optimized. But again, it is a bit disappointing to see, developers probably in the future. I haven't heard from EA with Battlefield with the Frostbite engine, but the Frostbite engine's amazing. So I wonder if they're going to switch over to Unreal Engine 5. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that, but Stalker was a notable one, very controversial one. But again, even with Stalker always had optimization issues, even before the switch over to Unreal Engine 5. But yeah, it is concerning, I guess you could say. that, no, not a lot of development studios are going to have their in-house engines. But again, it's not the engine itself. That's what the guy in the video gets wrong. Is that it's not the engine itself, in my opinion, that is causing these games to be badly optimized. I think the engine is a perfectly suitable engine that can be used. It's just that the problem is that people who are developers don't know shit. They are really bad and don't know how to use an engine to optimize, so they're fucking lazy. That was a whole debacle with Baldur's Gate, is that devs complained that they upped the bar so high so that other devs got fucking pissy that Baldur's Gate was so good and so well optimized that they all got pissy about it. Because, how could you actually take the time and the effort to make a good game that isn't buggy as shit? Fucking babies. So, again, I don't think it's inherently Unreal Engine 5 that's the issue. I don't think that's it. That's not what it is. The problem is that a lot of devs are just fucking lazy. They just don't give a shit about games. Or the other few veteran devs that are left, it's like they're so goddamn burned out, they don't give a shit anymore. So then fuck yeah, they're just gonna be lazy. They don't give a shit. They probably get paid like shit. They work overtime. They're not treated with any respect, so yeah, they don't give a shit. Or, they're fucking pissy mongoloids who are big fat babies that don't give a shit about games and just want the title of game dev without, the responsibilities and, the hardships that come with that type of position. Not saying to be unempathetic to game devs who aren't treated well, but I'm not empathetic to fucking people who are just lazy, who just don't want to deal with the competition. What do you think this is? This is a fucking market at the end of the day. You're supposed to make a good game, a quality game that sells. And if it's not quality, if it's not good, well, yeah, no shit. People not going to buy your game. And if you make it into a political propaganda piece, people don't want to be propagandized. That's another issue. People just don't want to be propagandized, and on top of that, you have a poorly optimized game, yeah, it's going to be shit. Of course it's going to be shit. So, again, I don't see an issue with Unreal Engine 5. I don't think that is a false target. It's a false flag, brother. It's a false flag. Again, I think Unreal Engine 5 is perfectly suitable. It's just you don't have the right people. You can do a lot with that engine. I've seen devs who are good who've done a lot. And, even for Helldivers, they didn't use Unreal Engine. They used some old ass engine that's discontinued, and they had to jerry-rig and modify it. There are still devs out there who are still willing to use different engines other than Unreal. It's just, it's not a very common thing, and also, they actually have to be good. They have to be good. So, it's not an engine issue, it's a skill issue. Sorry, bro. You're just not skilled enough. I'm just saying, you're just not skilled enough. You're not good at making a good game using Unreal Engine. And I don't fault for companies using this engine. I don't fault them. If they can afford it, and if it's probably cheaper. So I don't blame them. All I'm just saying is make sure you fucking optimize your game. Make sure you fucking make it good. Because if it's not, then what's the fucking point? What's the point of standardizing your engine to make it easier to use if you can't even get your devs to use it correctly? What's the point? That's my main thing. And that's where I'm going to end it off. Make sure you have good people, good devs who are actually skilled at their job and can actually use the engine correctly, rather than being bitchy babies who don't want to spend the time and effort doing that. That's the main thing. That's the main point. Alright. That's what all I had to say. Thank you for listening.